Welcome to the Speaking Citizen in celebration today of World Theatre Day. I am Mehru Jafar, bringing to you an ongoing series on art, culture, and literary activities. At the Speaking Citizen, we introduce to you creative members of society who are thinkers, artists, writers, musicians, film and theatre personalities, and poets to find out from them how we can cope better with different challenges that face human beings in society today. Today, we talk to Lubna Salim, theatre, movie, and television artist. The performing arts run in her family. She is the daughter of celebrated playwright and screenplay writer Javed Siddiqui, and her husband is Salim Arif, well-known alumni of Delhi's National School of Drama. We also have with us Maharaj Krishan Raina, another illustrious alumni of the National School of Drama, an important director and actor today. Raina is affectionately known to all of us as MK. A very warm welcome to both of you. The performing arts undoubtedly are the best form of entertainment. But what do both of you, long-time theatre and film personalities, feel is the social responsibility of the performing arts, particularly in present times when we as a country seem to be standing at crossroads? Okay, would you like to take that question first and then we move to Lubna?
What is the question?
I'll repeat it for you. So, everybody looks upon theatre and films as a source of entertainment, which of course it is. It is a supreme form of entertainment. But what, in the opinion of both of you, who have been long-time theatre and film personalities, what do you feel is the social responsibility, if any, of the performing arts, particularly today, when we as a nation seem to be standing at crossroads?
Well, you cross the roads. Simple as that.
Which road? Which path to take?
You see, I tell you, this question is, if you ask me, is almost 50 years old question. The same questions get repeated every time. Sometimes the political situation seems to be like a little bit tough. And each region has its own stupid laws. We have not matured, or we have not yet graduated as a democracy. We are celebrating leaders who are in heart and soul feudal, misogynistic, opportunistic, always fixers. And in that culture, if you show some way, and it looks very, strange to them, that they feel that they're like gods. All of them, across party line. I'm not saying it. They're one uniform. They all wear khadi, white clothes, all of them in one uniform. And I feel sometimes, I remember Madhulimai once was in the Maulangar auditorium, and there was Dagar Sahab. And Dagar Sahab, after the concert, Madhulimai came in, Dagar Sahab, बहुत अच्छा रहा आपका, बहुत अच्छा रहा. तो उन्होंने कहा, देखिए आप हमारे लिए जरा ये, something he wanted him to do. And Madhulimai said, Dagar Sahab, हमारे संसद में 2.5 लोग आपका म्यूजिक समझते हैं, 2 आपके सामने है, वहां आधा बचा है. तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में आई थिंक we are in an island of our own, and each one is in his own battle, really. I've been fighting for the day I started doing theatre, whether it was Congress or not Congress. They had to run during emergency. I had to run for my life. I know, just doing play like Chalk Circle, and I was person non grata. So for me, it is the same thing. Nothing has changed in quality. Theatre people are fighting. They are doing their work, the right work. They believe in that work. They are doing that work. Those who believe in entertainment, they are doing entertainment. That they don't know political, and they don't know social responsibility. They think they are socially responsible to make you laugh and make you happy. So that is their social responsibility. The whole question is rather loaded politically. And politically, very few people in this country are talking, in theater particularly, talking what is happening in the country through their work or otherwise. Most of them, I will say, have been appropriated by the dispensation that we are in today. It's really, believe me, it sickens me, made me so sad that the person who was my 50 years friend suddenly has changed a tongue, as it has been fitted into his mouth, new tongue, and he's talking a different language. He is not ready to listen to the facts. He's not ready to reason it out. He's not ready to debate with you. He just wants to fire you. And that in that situation, you debate is absent. I think theater is the best. I always say theater is a safety valve for any democracy. It lets the steam off. But when you put Dhakkan on that, but there's nothing much revolutionary either happening in theater. We believe, quote, we believe we are doing great work, earth-shaking works. Believe me, we can't do the 100 shows. We can't do 50 shows. Rarely you do 25 shows. And we say our work is done. It's not like that. I think there is something wrong with us also. We have to introspect. We need to introspect. We can't be in these ego islands. I mean, there are festivals are happening. We have a Meta Festival. I was yesterday in the Meta Festival opening. Another festival, and NSD also doing Bharat Rang Mahotsav. They will say theater is happening. But what kind of theater is happening? What are the priorities of that theater? That is the question. But that question is not debated either. I remember meeting a very eminent playwright, Heine Müller, German playwright, who he was an East German playwright who became a cult. And he was known, famous for writing on civil wars, the most complex structures he created. And I said, how come he was close to Brecht at one point, and therefore I think I knew Brecht, so therefore I talked to him in Germany. I met him after wall was broken. And he said, you know our history? I said, yes. She said, I dread what may happen in the next election. But they handle it very maturely. But what I'm saying that today you say what we are at crossroads, but is our art is at crossroads? I think we need, I believe, particularly, I have done a piece on that. 7 poems I've just done. We opened it the other day. The language of my putting across my ideas has to change. Because the more oppression comes, the more creativity should happen. Mm-hmm. It has happened in Germany, it has happened in Russia, it has happened during the Nazi times. They were underground. You remember the Jean Paul saying, the candle must be lit all the time. The little flame has to be kept alive all the time. I don't think we have reached to that solution. So I don't think we are even talking to each other. We are not. We are not worried about. Oh, one person will be maybe arrested or something. Okay. Even then, I don't think we have people to understand what we used to be doing 30 years back. Are we scared? Are we worried? I have no idea. I can't say about it. But I think individually, each one of us is doing his work. I will not say that they are not doing their work, but does it reach? Or am I only being, oh, I'm happy. I did good work, yeah. What are you talking? I did this play. It's very political play, but big deal. What happens after that? I think we have to work. I always used to say, I still say that, who is making seeds for theater? We have not been making, we are all celebrating. We are all interested in making great productions. Oh, I was seen by this great man. I performed in Prithvi, I performed at NCPA, I performed in big theaters. Big deal, 5,000 people, 1,500 people, 600 people. But new seeds are not sprouting. We are not making new seeds. We are not making those generations. That is one worry, I think. That is at the crossroads. The new theater person who will come, with what sensibility will he be coming? But I see some in the student youngsters here, they are grappling brilliantly, great energy, tremendous energy. But it is a studio theater. The
Mm.
theater, black box is a new fashion. A black box theater where 50 people or something, house full. There are no seats for you. By the end of 10 days, how many? 200 people have seen it, 500 people have seen it. I somehow say theater belongs to the community and the community is not with you. Therefore, community will not save you because they don't know who you are, why you should be saved. We cannot be away from the community. That is
So,
my.
Anke, you just accused me of asking you a question which is 50 years old. What kind of questions would you like the media to ask you before I move on to Lubna?
Ask me why I ask you before you
What
ask.
what
I,
kind of
uh,
questions?
I think very important is, has theater been able to make a good citizen out of good theater person? Why are so many hundreds of people running after today's grants, which are third-rate grants? बढ़ाई को से ज़्यादा मिलता पैसा, 6,000 rupees per month per actor, and everybody is lining up there. वो गैरत ही नहीं है. So I think we have been living in a fool's paradise. हाँ, यहाँ बहुत अच्छे थिएटर करते हैं. But they are basically वही वो हम बंसी और हम कहते थे नरेगा मिल रहा है सबको. थिएटर का नरेगा है ये. It's like that. And suddenly you see Aditya Birla giving you 10 days money for play to do, and you say, oh, you arrived here. We have not created the institutions of culture. We have not safeguarded the institutions of culture which were there, which they have taken over. They have, really peeling them off, breaking them down. I see what's happened to National School of Drama before my eyes. I see it every day there, what they are doing. Priority kya hai? Registrar, we have an NSD director for a year almost there, who is basically a librarian in IGNCA. Additional charge National School of Drama. And nobody is making noise except NK and maybe 10 of us. So we are bad boys. So you have person not let him enter National School of Drama. No, he's doing this is rubbish.
So,
Nobody.
Lubna, after that very dramatic answer to my very simple question, what is your take on
First of
your
all, thank you so much for inviting me, and I cannot even dream. It's actually really a dream come true to be, even sharing this space with NK sir. We've revered him for, ages now, me and Salim both, and you definitely, Melji. But having said that, जो भी अभी NK sir कह रहे थे, I totally ditto the same sentiments. But having said that, and when he began his, when he said that we crossed the road, and that's what you see, we all are in today's world, in our capacities as a theatre people, as responsible citizens, we are trying to do that. We have, and I would say for myself and our theatre group and people whom I have been associated with till this time, yes, we have crossed the road. And we're trying our best, and that's all that we can do in today's scenario. But there is a consciousness, there is you see, एक अंदर का जमीर होता है जो बहुत सारी चीजों के लिए गवारा नहीं करता है. तो जब तक हम अपनी जमीर की सुन रहे हैं और हमें अलाउ किया जा रहा है, तब तक everything is very happy. So I would still want to, have a lot of hope for theatre with the new kind of blood that's, coming in, the youngsters. They are interpreting it in their own manner. They are reinventing things around them, especially with the economics, with the, you see, the new, with the lack of spaces, with the lack of with all that, considering all that, they are trying to do that, and a lot is happening in Mumbai. Definitely a lot is happening with the, I would not say, the conventional drama space. Yes, definitely with just those two places. Unfortunately, with NCP and 50 theatre, we would not call theatre, and especially with Hindi theatre. So, having said that, they are redefining the language. That's what they are trying to do. That's what I would say. And otherwise, जो sir कह रहे थे, I totally agree with him. कि हम वो जो सेफ्टी वॉल्व है डेमोक्रेसी का, वो जो है उसे निकालना बहुत जरूरी है, बहुत जरूरी है।
Another very
हमने
significant, जी,
yes, sorry, नहीं आप बताइए जी।
another very significant point which MK made was whatever you may be doing, good or bad, are you connecting to the larger communities, you know, or
That's 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 exactly what it is, Nehru ji. When I say कि हमारा ज़मीर, I belong to a kind the family that I belong to, and I've lived all my life in theatre. I started. I didn't even know that I was, going to be a part of a very esteemed journey in my life, and which is going to become my lifetime. And I started working when I was 7 years old in and on professional stage in ITTA. So when I started all that, things then were very different. Things today are very different. But वहाँ कहीं when चूंकि एक upbringing में वो एक वो एक seed थी, and that germinated somewhere, and it was definitely enhanced and taken forward by Salim, and definitely Papa and Gulzar Sahab. And we have been doing our kind of work. In fact, we started our own theatre group because we wanted to say what we wanted to say. Whether you see, और वही बात है, जमीर की बात है कि my consciousness did not allow me to do a lot of things which were run of the mill, which were like okay, would give me that 2 minutes of fame and leave me leave it all after that. So I did not. So consciously, we've been doing a lot of work. With all kinds of our plays. We started in 2002 with the Kharashe, which was talking about the communal riots. Then we did Lakiren, which was on the Indo-Pak border. Then we did Athanya, the half lives of people, on the streets of Mumbai. We did Kache Lamhe, we did Hamsafar, talking about relationships. We've done Street Patro, you see, again, Rabindranath Tagore ki Street Patro, which we called Sunte Ho, written by Gulzar Saab. We've been doing a lot of work for children and a lot of conscious work wherein I feel personally and in a very minuscule way, I've really not done anything much, but जितना भी छोटा मोटा मेरा experience रहा है, मुझे हमेशा ये एहसास होता रहा है कि वो जो 500 लोग देखने आते हैं, उनमें से अगर 10 भी हमारी बात समझ के चले जाए तो हमारा काम उतना ही काम है और हमारा हो गया शायद. तो और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि when people react, when after my show, when people come and when they connect with us, and then they remember us. When I've been doing all media, but if they remember me through my play, that they saw my show, and then they saw my play, I feel so honored and good that yes, I did leave an impression somewhere. So yeah, that is my take. The children's theatre also. Just recently, we did a very interesting work with an NGO, and it was about the relevance of the Republic Day. And you see, so we did all this. So we're still doing our kind of work in our small little way. Not परचम कोई लहरा नहीं रहा है या हम कोई नारेबाजी नहीं कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हमें ये लगा कि चुपके से एक कोने में पड़े रहकर थोड़ा बहुत अपने लिए काम कर लेना जरूरी है as
the
people of the
other
society.
concern expressed earlier was that perhaps not enough seeds are being sown, to cultivate a harvest of socially and politically conscious citizens. Do you have anything to?
Times are changing, I would say. You see, with this 2 minute instant fame, and anyway, even if we look at it, see, I feel we are actors. There are actors everywhere, and the best of them are on TV, and they are in the news, and they are everywhere. I have, but with all my experience in front of the camera for a long time, wherever there is a camera and there is a camera person, a personality changes. They are somebody else behind the scenes. They are somebody else when they are, speaking in the camera. So इतनी जल्दी वो जो 2 मिनट का instant fame है, वो क्या क्या नहीं कराता है, that is for us all to see. So seeds germination, पता नहीं कितना इफेक्टिव है या कितना हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, I still had my hopes कि शायद चीजें बदलेंगी.
So, MK, your work, we all know, is highly political, inspired by the activism of your father, it seems. Um, Today, we watch helplessly as community leaders and many of our own elders digress from the truth. Even, elders are ready to accept lies about our collective past, often saying and things and behaving in the most irresponsible manner. What do you remember your father doing in life that influenced your entire life and your work in the performing arts so significantly?
You see, he never lectured me. I used to watch him, what he used to do. Apart from his professional work as a dentist, he was with the community all the time, solving problems. Every Sunday was very busy for him. He has to go here, he has to do things there. And by watching those people, like they never that time, it was not that they had to get something out of it, but watching him till end. Uh, and then it became sad when he had to leave Kashmir. That was, when for a boy who had in 47 as a young boy against Maharaja, got beaten by Maharaja's cops, and then sees himself to be marginalized and he is now a minority and has to get out of the place. And it's a long story what happened to my family, to my clan. And but what he taught me, maybe very indirectly, I went back. For last 20 years, I work in Kashmir. I have uh, earmarked 90 days or more, 4 months, that I'll be in Kashmir. I've already done 2 trips. I'll be again going. That I am more involved when I have lost everything there. I should be the person who should be hating what is happening there. But I am also, watched by the state there. Why, what is he doing? What is not? But you dissolve yourself with the people. And it is so ironic. It's very ironic when things were so bad there. When things were, you can't imagine, boys were being shot dead. Just 10, 20 kilometers away where I was working in a village. And then when we finally performed, entire hill was with the people, the thousands watching this play. And it has been my experience throughout when I have to do a play there. Now मेरी तो एक आदत हो गई यार, क्या ये 500 लोग होते, कोई play waste of time है यार. I mean, imagine a hill, filled with women, children, elderly, peasants, all of them, then feeding you, talking to you, or they come to the rehearsal. Rehearsal it used to be, अरे घर क्यों नहीं जाते हो तुम मेरी रिहर्सल के पीछे क्यों पड़े हो, क्यों हम तुमसे कोई बोले कुछ, तुम करो अपना काम. And they will come the hookah. And I had always a feedback, what am I doing, उसका रिएक्शन वही मिलता था मुझे. 200 लोग तब भी देखते थे. Perhaps that is what I got from my father, from his very, very, uh, very human activism with the concern to the people he lived with. And when I go there, I am not a Kashmiri Pandit that you in Bombay, you have a lot of the shouting people. I am a Kashmiri. I'm very proud of that. No, every day. I mean, I have already had 5 calls. अरे उसका ये क्या, उसने ये क्या, अच्छा 14, 15, 16 में याद रखना उसकी शादी है. In fact, she stays reached over the years. In a village, there was a feud between 2 brothers. They said, रायना को लाओ, वो कर देगा ठीक. वहाँ पागल हो गए, जमीन का मामला मैं कैसे ठीक करूँ? They said, नहीं, we trust. And literally, I did it. I said, first write it down that you will agree what I think. Like this. People that, you see, it is our community gives you trust. And you don't betray that trust. Your accounts are with them, not with me. I'll give you an example. Kashmiris are very innocent. Garib log hai, particularly folk artists there. And anybody can fool them. Raina paisa kha raha hai. The first thing in the village, what I did, I got all 20 of them और उनका बैंक अकाउंट खोला मैंने. Like, sign यहाँ पर, अब तुम्हारे इसमें 1,000 सब में. So I will give them check. It was not only acting, they are brilliant, great actors, to be honest, great actors. But it was to educate and they question and change their own condition. Recently, there in Bombay, I did a screening and performance of a We made it like first a film, then it was film and theater both together. It was with these folk artists from Kashmir. I did Ashoka's Three Edicts. A metaphor was Kashmir. I changed the whole metaphor, and it became very relevant. And when the Bombay people, they didn't believe that these actors can be so smooth actors.
Mm.
And they have gone abroad. I have not gone with them because I was not well. You will manage your things. गलती होगी पूछ लेना किसी का. Now today they know everything. So what has happened is younger generation, I trained the younger generation, they are little educated. They have, some of them done MAs, BAs. So the kids will talk to me. And then 5, 6 villages have got involved with my kind of work there. We train tailors there, blacksmiths, potters, women. Everybody is working when we are working for us because we have very little money, and that is also distributed among them. I think by community, I mean that kind of. And Lubna has a problem. Lubna is a metropolis. It is a different giant.
Correct.
He's a भूत के बीच में आप फंसे हैं. And
Correct.
challenges are different, but I still think unless until I have today, you know what I say, my defense mechanisms if I'm attacked. Some people to talk to about me, some people to defend me. In fact, when these artists were, a lot of things were happening in Sahmat, we had started creating a cell of lawyers, friends, who, who should be standing for us. So there are a lot of people who believe and they will do it. We have to, in these dark times, before that you have to create this defense mechanism, you have your backbone for yourself and not get on your मैं तो revolutionary हूँ, that मतलब the मैं तो तूफानी theater कर रहा हूँ, this I and the last person मैं ही कर रहा हूँ, that doesn't work. I think today's challenge is creative as well as political.
Correct.
How I say, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि कहानी तो एक ही होती है यार, कहानी कैसे कहोगे, that is art, that
True.
is कैसे पेश करें हम कहानी.
हाँ, जैसे आपने
True.
कबीर की कहानी जैसे बताई थी, which was so
तुम्हारा फोटोग्राफ अभी मैंने I sent it for scanning. We are getting the प्रयोग book now.
yeah, that
So,
is completely unforgettable. You know, the way you interpreted.
you know what we did with Kabir recently last year?
Ji.
I have my son who is a musician, camera person, and he does a lot of things. His gang came to have a lunch with me, and they said they listened to this Kabir's music. They said, "Can we do something with it?" So I got very interested. "क्या करोगे इसमें?" They said, "Are you open to reinterpret?" I said, "Wonderful, we'll do it." So we went for a 1-month residency, created a fund residency, and created a rock musical out of it.
Oh.
And we premiered it at Kabir in Banaras Ghat, Kabir Festival and Kabir Chaura ke nazdik hai. And everybody was on its toes. And whenever we do the show, it is houseful. Not the play, there is no play, it's only songs.
Yes.
And the arrangements have done beautiful arrangements. They've done lovely sounds with it. तो वो भी चलता है, but I think मैं कश्मीर में हमारे दोस्त जो हमने अभी बैठे थे, हम कभी पीछे जनवरी में बर्फ में बैठ के कुछ चाय पी रहे थे. मैं कहा याद है तुम लोगों को 2001 2002 याद है, हम डरते थे, निकलते थे काम करने लेकिन डरते थे. एंड ऐसे वी हेल्ड ईच अदर्स हैंड्स, तभी तो घर से निकलते थे, नहीं तो निकलते ही नहीं. जब वो वहां पर वो बहुत बड़ा फिजाइन अटैक हुआ था, वो जब वो बस जाने वाली थी मुजफ्फराबाद, I was 2005 में, I was part of that, कुछ कल्चर का कुछ करेंगे, and that whole building was attacked with फिजाइन. I was inside that building, crossfire चारों तरफ चल रहा था. So I said, do you remember कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गए थे? अगर एक दूसरे का हाथ नहीं पकड़ेंगे आप, बहुत गड़बड़ हो जाता है. I think
तो कबीर तो 16th सेंचुरी से रिपीट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आज भी कम्युनलिज्म पे कोई इफेक्ट नहीं हुआ है कबीर की बातों का.
नहीं, उसी कबीर को कहाँ पकड़ेगा कोई. कबीर के सामने आते हैं, देखते हैं, कह नहीं पाते कुछ. सिर्फ मैं ये कहना, तुम कहोगे कैसे अपनी बात. ये बहुत, मतलब दादी माँ जैसे कहानी बताती है, उसका भी एक फॉर्म होता था ना, कहानी सुनाती थी, फिर स्कूल में कहानी सुना. You remember some storytellers who tell this story, कैसे वो. और दूसरा ये है कि एक दो जो मैं आज यहाँ फिर कहता हूँ कि हम लोग को एक अशकाना मिजाज होगा कि हमारे फोक फॉर्म्स इतने खूबसूरत हैं, जो हैं अच्छे हैं, मगर उसमें बहुत जहर भी भरा है. फ्यूडलिज्म का जहर भरा है. वो वैल्यूज, उन वैल्यूज को आपको निकालना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू फाइंड सीड्स ऑफ मॉडर्निज्म इन दैट एंड देन टेक दैट फॉरवर्ड. तो वो बड़ी चैलेंजेस है, क्रिएटिव चैलेंज भी है और पॉलिटिकल चैलेंजेस भी है. And I think the best example is how in the totalitarian Soviet system, how did the writers write? How did Tarkovsky become such a fantastic filmmaker? Yeah, Abdulaziz become a great filmmaker. Or you go to Iran filmmakers, see them under what conditions. Or Turkey mein, Gune makes films and their theater. Grotesque in the most militarized Poland. I realized when I read those plays, I really understand it. Karte kaise the? The whole language of performance changed. Whole language of literature changed. Godot came from that. Godot is an expression of post Second World War.
Absolutely.
Post Hiroshima. The whole thing, when they lost meaning for everything. कोई पॉलिटिक्स का कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. रिलीजन बकवास है. हर चीज मीनिंगलेस हो गया. And you see the text tells you all that how they write. मैं हम मजाक में कहते
So
हैं.
all the great work done in Latin America under severe dictatorships.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
Or
Lubna,
I
how
think sometimes a nation needs a dose of oppression to re-emerge back to its glory.
But a civilized way would be not to give that kind of pain to citizens and yet allow them to be creative. So, Lubna, how much of your work is influenced firstly by your father, then later on by your husband, and also by your son, who I believe is part of the film industry?
Well, I mean, as I said, they are all a part of my life. They are all my lifelines. So it's definitely, it's not just an influence. It's the way, that I have been shaped up. This is the way I am, and it's only because of them. This consciousness and all this is also, because we have been brought up in this manner. So this is how it is. Yes. So influence तो definitely
Can
रहता
I
ही है.
intervene?
जी.
I have yet to see in the progressive traditions, whether they came from IPTA or other cultural institutions, a rebel was born.
Yes.
Except in Ghatak. You don't have your followers. And that is the tragedy.
But IPTA is long this thing. It was, एक philosophy थी. मुझे तो नहीं लगता कि आज की डेट में is as relevant because progressivism आपको जब वो term इस्तेमाल करते हैं, it can be all, it can be interpreted in your own manner. वो तब भी लोग थे, IPTA को भी follow करते थे. वहां से बाहर निकल के भी लोगों ने अपना काम किया है. मतलब तो प्रोग्रेसिव तब भी थे और आज भी हैं. अपने वो उसकी लैंग्वेज बदल गई है, शायद उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन बदल गया है, लेकिन वो बीज अभी भी है. इज व्हाट आई फील कि अपने लिए अपनी एक बात कहने का. In any way, any socially conscious person of society would do that. And as sir very rightly said, we are, हम तो metropolitan city के बच्चे हैं. हमारी जद्दोजहद और हमारी मुश्किलें बहुत ही अलग किस्म की हैं. इट्स वेरी और इन सब में यूजली कुछ चीजें बड़ी आसानी से भी हो जाती है, कुछ चीजों के लिए आप जन्म लगा दें तो भी नहीं होता है. प्रोग्रेसिविज्म जो टर्म है, हम हमेशा वी ऑलवेज we grew up with it because Papa was a part of it. My mom used to do costumes. So as children, we were like, we were huddled कि चलो 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 यहाँ खड़े हो जाओ और वहाँ खड़े हो जाओ. तो उस तरह की अपब्रिंगिंग के बाद में जब हम कॉन्शियस हुए, तब हमें एहसास हुआ कि बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें थी जो ख्वाब थी, जो पूरी नहीं हुई. और तो वो उन्हें वहां छोड़ देना ज्यादा बेटर है. You see? तो और हम अपने काम करते रहे, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. और हमारे काम में अगर वो बातें झलकती हैं तो हमारे लिए वो काफी है आज की डेट में, बिकॉज बहुत मुश्किल है. it's very difficult, you see, in this fast-paced life that we lead, where people come to Bombay, especially as far as theatre is concerned, it's mostly a stepping stone. We'll do theatre, so we'll get some recognition, and the casting agencies will call us because we have been put on the stage and हमने एक नाटक किया है, तो हमारे portfolio में आ जाएगा. तो आज की डेट में अगर उस तरह के फोकसेस लेके जब लोग आते हैं यहाँ पर, तो उनमें से थिएटर को बचाए रखना बड़ा मुश्किल काम है यहाँ पर. Again, paucity of good scripts, original scripts, paucity of places, it all has, you see, added to our own kind of, you see, theater not being effective enough or whatever. जब हम प्रोग्रेसिव की बात करते हैं तो हम वहीं पर एक एक नोशन को छोड़ के चले जाते हैं. और वैसे भी वो जमाना देखे मजदूरों का, लेबर का और मशीन वाला जमाना था, वो जो बातें थी वो खत्म हो चुकी है. अब नए इश्यूज हैं और नए प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, तो उनके लिए एक लैंग्वेज ढूंढना, to find that language is very difficult in today's time. And that is what
I want to interrupt with firstly, I've asked both of you the effect that your parents, your elders had upon you, your life, and how you're working with that influence to this day. That is because I think there's a very dangerous trend around us today when we as elders, and जो भी हमारे elders बचे कुचे हैं समाज में, they are brazenly lying all the time. And this, I think, will have a very negative impact on a youthful country like India. So that is why I wanted to ask both of you how you prevent yourself from, telling the truth, liking the truth, and not lying about life and history and past and promises in the future. That is my first opinion of what I listened to both of you say. Secondly, why I bring up IPTA is we don't want IPTA to help us function today like it did 100 years ago. That is not the purpose. The purpose of talking about IPTA is how different citizens from different walks of life all united, for a cause that they hope would benefit them as individuals and benefit the country by getting rid of the colonialists. So we face different challenges today. So IPTA's story is very inspiring because normally, you say, what can a poet and a writer do about, military affairs and political affairs? But IPTA proved, the powerful impact that artists and writers and creative members of society can have on a political movement like the freedom struggle. That is why we don't want to the old IPTA to resolve our new problems. That is not the issue. But not to forget the role of IPTA in this great freedom struggle and the democratic life that we hopefully will continue to lead in this country. So tell me, we will, I think, conclude now. What are your thoughts, both of you? First MK and then Lubna on World Theatre Day.
But before that, you were talking about IPTA and other things. My take on the IPTA is that only the incomplete story of IPTA has been told.
Ji.
There was a lot of internal turmoil. If you read Mantu, you will understand what he was talking about. And I have heard from the horse's mouth Shanta Gandhi. She was my teacher who was IPTA. how this whole discussion took place and which cracked IFTA internally was when Ravi Shankar and Shumo Mitra asked the questions, how about the individual creativity?
Correct.
That's when the Shumo Mitra goes out, Shankar goes out. It was not, I don't think that IFTA had a problem because it got so romanticized, so much romanticized, it had to collapse from inside because when its own party said, thank you very much. Because it was not uh, you see, point is following my parent or Lubna saying that I was, criticality khatam ho jati hai. If we are not critically thinking about things, they will fall apart. But I think it did its historical role to a point of 30 years, 20 years. That was its role, over.
Correct.
What we have to learn from that is what should not have been done, perhaps.
True.
But at the same time, what IFTA was like a laboratory, it had to fight politically Congress, let me tell you. There was Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay on the other side creating Bharti, what is it? Bharti Nata Sangh or something. And you had another from Gujarat coming. So there was a attack on it also. But after the IFTA broke and they left into their diverse lines, they created a renaissance in the country. Whether it is poetry, whether it is music, whether it is theatre, whether it is Balraj Sahni or Savil Chaudhary and things, Satyu and all of them, they created a different world. They were mine of talents. They didn't die that day. They're still continued working. That only thing is there has not been a criticality of it. And still who are harping on it, वो काफी जगह है. Oh, it will never radicalize itself to something new. वो करते हैं कोशिश, but
But
there's a problem.
but sir, I'm at being a part of it, and being so heavily influenced through this thing. आज आप मुझसे कह रहे हैं तो मेरी हिम्मत हो रही है बात करने की, लेकिन मुझे ये बताइए ना कि in today's times also, in today's days also, कोई consolidation नहीं है. It should have been an equally powerful movement जो बिल्कुल बिखर के छोटे छोटे क्षेत्रों में रह गया है, and it's like it's doing its best over there. Even today when they have their national conferences, they need filmy faces to put on the thing to attract the audiences. What does that mean for youngsters like me, for people like me? I really need to understand, where is it all going. Do I really have to succumb to this, having a philosophy and ideology, and so I do, or should I feel cheated about it? What should I do? You see, so this is where I feel that मुझे अगर अपनी बात करनी है तो मुझे एक पर्टिकुलर छत्र छाया की जरूरत नहीं है. I'm fine doing my job as long as it is progressive. It is what is keeping me alive and my theater alive and whatever I want to say alive. This is what I feel. So to be compartmentalized into a particular ideology or a zone is I think it's a very trying thing for today's time. So I think it did its role and it's done.
collapse हो गई है.
बिल्कुल खत्म हो चुकी है. तो आज की डेट में अगर वो इन्फ्लुएंसेस बहुत अच्छे थे, उनका दौर अलग था. that time was it was different time. There were also people who went off from there like Habib Tanveer and Alkazi Saab. All those people were doing that kind of work, you see. And we come from this generation who always looked at these people as gods for us, you see. तो हमारे लिए वो एक particular era था, and it's over. Yes, I derived the good points from that, and then I move on because it is in itself or in whatever manners. I do not have that kind of experience or to say, mother, I have understood it's disintegrated in itself. Even when I look at the Bombay IFTA, or when I look at the IFTA, my father has been a part of IFTA till date with the president and all that stuff. Having said all that, there is not even how many original plays have we also written over here? That could even give us that kind of incentive or a way out for the youngsters. मतलब even if today इतने old लोगों को अपने पदों पर बैठे रहना है, और youngsters कहाँ उन्होंने nurture किए हैं youngsters, मुझे बताइए कैसे the youngsters nurture होते. So we really need all that. You see, we need that वो ideology ठीक है, लेकिन उसको चलाने वाला भी तो हमें कोई चाहिए. We need that also, which unfortunately did not happen. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but this is what I feel. This is my personal. We can't hear you.
Me,
No, we can't hear Nehru ma'am.
नहीं,
Meru.
अब तो
Yeah.
इसका रोना नहीं है, क्योंकि अब तो आइडियोलॉजी, वो जिस आइडियोलॉजी पे ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बना था, वो तो आइडियोलॉजी कोलैप्स हो गई.
No, I don't think that is right.
लेकिन
That
आइडियोलॉजी
is a,
आइडियोलॉजी कोलैप्स वो
no.
तो
I do not think Marxism is being revisited in the most capitalist country in the US. It's
Exactly.
the new.
No, I was talking about the narrow Soviet Union ideology, which
I
had
would say
influenced the and the Communist Party of India.
I will not. I mean, I don't. I'm not a part of the party system or anything. I don't have any idea about that. But yeah, creativity-wise, I think they have not come with anything new. There's
Yeah.
nothing new, path-breaking idea, creativity, path-breaking idea politically, on which the youngsters say, "Wow, that is the idea."
Of course,
That-
Marx is being reinterpreted. I met a 25-year-old legislator from East Berlin, who was now sitting in the parliament of the United East and West Berlin. And she said she was in the middle of interpreting Marx from the gender perspective, because she found in the previous interpretation no mention of the problems of women in particular, because Marx talks about workers, the problem of workers, but not female workers. So, of course, Marx is being reinterpreted, and rightly so.
this new gender name for him, worker was worker.
Yeah.
It's now that the gender that I'm a woman worker, but you are still a factory worker or you're a worker anywhere. Now, to find it 100 years back, 1848, why didn't he write it? But that's a little bit, silly. I'll tell you, his daughter translated from Norwegian language all Ibsen plays in England. And she also translated Marx into English. And nobody knows her name. But it's interesting that when she did the first reading of Enemy of the People, George Bernard Shaw became one character, Crockstead. He was reading Crockstead for him. It was amazing thing to see. So I don't, bringing now to new ideas came now. They didn't come then. Gender right. I mean, there is a story. I mean, it's an autobiographical story that he had a son from his governess, Karl Marx. Do you know that?
No.
Yes. Yes, you don't know that. As a child. And this girl came to know much later, he's my brother. And wanted to, agar koi inheritance I want to give it to you. वो बहुत मजेदार कहानियां हैं. मजेदार के there are sad stories also. और कहने का मेरा मतलब है कि Marx will be revisited. It will, because he's a philosopher. He is not a politician. When politicians took over the philosophy, you have to be a philosopher. I remember Said Mirza's mother telling him one day, Marxism से शायरी गई. Poetry is lost in the politics. And when politics loses sense of, Gandhi used to always create poetry. Whether it is Salt Morris, कुछ भी करता आज तक मुझे कहता है इतना theatre director मैंने आज तक नहीं देखा वो करता क्या था. His spectacles, he used to create massive spectacles. Then, it was thinking like a poet. All Mandela, for example, look at him. Read Martin Luther King. They talk like poets. They don't talk like this crass politicians that we have. They don't bring the
ये
level.
फैज अहमद फैज ने क्या खूबसूरती से पॉलिटिक्स डाली है शायरी में. उल्टा भी होता है.
अरे उसका एक वाक्य है, वो जेल में थे, उनके बगल के सेल में सजाद जहीर साहब थे. यहाँ एक हो रहा था, एक when I was a student, यहाँ एक फैज साहब की एक इवनिंग अनिल बिस्वास गा रहे थे, and who was compared सजाद जहीर. तो नादरा ने हमें कहा चलो तुम भी आ जाओ स्कूल से गए. For me it was an eye opener. There when he was in jail and they were about to be hanged, यहाँ तक बात पहुंची थी. तो उनको उन सेल्स में रखा, कंडेम्ड सेल में, जहां से फांसी का तख्ता दिखता था और इनके हाथ में न कलम था, न कागज था, न कुछ था, सिर्फ कुरान शरीफ वहां था। तो इसलिए रखा था कि ये साले कम्युनिस्ट हैं, एक दिन तो बार इसको खोलेंगे, आई विल सी। एंड दिस मैन सजाद राइट्स इन दैट लिटिल बुक कॉल्ड रोशनाई टू हिज वाइफ, वो चिट्ठी है कि मेरी सेल में कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ कुरान शरीफ रखा है और सामने गैलोस दिखते हैं मुझे, और रात भर दिन भर 24 घंटे कंडेम पर्सन्स के चीखो पुकारो दुआएं रोते रहते हैं to shake me down. But they have forgotten something, that this cell belonged to Bhagat Singh.
Oh.
And that is the strength
Why
I
am
had,
I atheist?
that held me together. So ये तो शायद ही ऐसा सोचता है कि भगत सिंह की सेल विल गिव मी इंस्पिरेशन, बाकी कहाँ, बाकी तो वो सोचता है कि मेरे घर क्या पहुंचा, दूध पहुंचा कि नहीं पहुंचा।
Thank you so much. This is
We are still waiting for such leaders.
right?
We are still waiting for such leaders and for such poets and for such kind of people who could, you know, जो हमें हमारी राह हमें बनाने की कोशिश करें, हमारी राह में हमें गाइड करें। हमारे पास आज क्या है? सिर्फ यही लोग हैं।
सब हैं आप लोगों के बीच में। On that optimistic note, I want to thank both of you for talking to the citizen.